Have you ever wondered how a tattoo artist gets the ink to stay under a person's skin in such a precise and artistic manner? Like the artist uses a paintbrush and the sculptor uses a chisel, a tattoo artist uses a tattoo gun. A tattoo gun is about the size of a person's hand. Now you may be asking yourself, how can something so big puncture into a person's skin and inject ink in such a precise manner? I'm sure a lot of people have thought about getting a tattoo, or you yourself know someone that has a tattoo. Surprisingly enough, not a lot of people actually know how a tattoo gun works. I'm fascinated by tattoos and even have a few myself. I've built a lot of personal relationships with tattoo artists, locally and out of state, and they've all taught me a little bit about the art of tattooing. I'm also into the mechanics of how things operate. I love to do research on how a particular machinery works. The purpose of my speech is to inform my audience on how the typical coil tattoo machine operates. Today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history of the tattoo gun, how it functions, and how it's able to keep an ink inside a person's skin. The history of the tattoo gun begins in the early 1800s. There are many various types of tattoo machines that were built over the course of the years. But according to Tattoo Archive, one of the first fully fledged tattoo guns was built by a Samuel O'Reilly. His machine was basically an innovation of the electric stencil maker, which was a machine that punches holes into papers to make stencils for copying needs back in the day. It wasn't until the 1920s that the typical tattoo machine that we know of today as a coil type machine was invented by a Percy Waters. He was the first one to use the coil electromagnetic design for tattoo guns. A tattoo gun relies on two things: electromagnetism and the elasticity of metal. Here I have a diagram of a coil type machine. Basically, a tattoo gun, all it is an electric circuit. The two coils right here are connected to a positive electric line. Power runs through the coils, and it goes all the way through to the metal, and it completes right here to the negative terminal. The electricity running through the coils creates a magnetic field that attracts this piece of metal bar right here, and it comes down and is connected to a rod that's also connected to a needle. So when it comes down, the piece of metal that connects to the negative terminal disconnects. So basically the electric circuit cuts off. And when the electric circuit cuts off, the piece of metal goes back up. And this process happens within milliseconds. So basically, it all repeats, causing the needle to go up and down. The needle goes down so fast that it can puncture your skin up to 100 times per second. Tattoo guns are a precision machine that have very specific settings that have to be met in order for it to properly work. The needle can only puncture a person's skin up to 2 millimeters because the purpose of that is to puncture into the dermis layer of your skin. If it doesn't inject the ink into the dermis layer, then anything else above the dermis layer will just flake off with years. And the ink is basically deposited into holes created by the needle. In conclusion, I've gone over how a coil type tattoo machine operates. So next time, when you get a tattoo, you'll know how it works. I went over its history, its functions, and how it deposits ink into your skin. I feel as if I was able to teach you because of my own experience with tattoos and my innate ability to research specific topics. Knowledge of the device will most likely help some of you overcome the anxiety of wanting to get a tattoo. There are so many different types of tattoo guns out there, but the coil type tattoo machine is the most common one, which is why I chose to cover that one specifically